All right, welcome back. Sachsenring, I think. Apologies to the German viewers if I'm messing that up. This is a tough track to learn, so just be aware that you're not going to get into a practice session before a race and learn this track. This is going to take a bit of practice. Good news is I have a setup for you which will definitely speed the learning curve up. Now, normally I say the iRacing setups aren't bad, and they're usually not. I tweak the car just to give it a little bit more confidence in how it handles and performs. But in this circumstance, I think the iRacing setting is a little not so good. Give it a try, see what you think, then try this setup and see. Let me know if you think it's a big improvement because I certainly did think it was. So ride height minus 15. A lot of curbs to go over here on this track. So not as low as it goes. Minus 15 will get you over them without any real trouble. ARB is 0. We don't want any understeer on this track, that is for sure. Damper compression. There is so many uphill, downhill, off cambers, corners. You are almost never braking on a flat surface. So damper compression is turned up to keep some more weight onto the rear. This is a very important one, I find. Brake bias, 59% for me. For you, it's probably going to be 1 or 2% higher than what you normally have it at. Again, a lot of uphill, downhill braking. Spring rates, low as they go, front and back. Camber, if you know my channel, you know I am almost always asymmetrical, and I am certainly asymmetrical this time. Um, I think most of you don't like the asymmetrical setup. However, this track, I really, if you normally don't do it, I would say give this a try. The front left tire has almost nothing on this track. It's almost like the front ARB is turned on. That front left tire is just barely getting any heat anywhere. So the camber is really turned down, but the front right is really doing all the work, and the camber is turned up. So 1.5 on the right, 1.1 on the left. If you want them symmetrical, go with the higher values as usual. But I really suggest if you normally don't do it, give this a try. 1.4 toe in. You do need the car to turn in on this track. There is a lot of twisty sections and off-camber corners where you need the front end to be pointy, but you don't want it too pointy. Uh, the back end gets very light here, very easy to spin out, and having that front end too sharp is going to make that rear want to step out even more. So I have it at 1.4. With this setup with the cambers and ride height, I don't believe you can even get 1.5. And if you are struggling with the car spinning out, you may want to try 1.3. Rear springs, again, low as they go. Camber, 1 on the left, 1.1, 1.1 on the right. Now, the right rear could be higher. However, you do need the car to rotate here, and the ARB is not turned up. So I find having it at 1.1 allows you to rotate the car without having to turn up the ARB, because there is a lot of fast sections here, and I find having the ARB turned up too much really has the back end stepping out. So the camber is maybe just a little lower. If you want to try, you can certainly bump that up to maybe 1.3. That may give you a little bit more grip, but you may not be rotating the car as much as you want. Toe in, 0.3 on the rear. Yeah, tire temps here get pretty hot, so I don't think you would want it any higher than that. And ride height minus 14 in the back, just 1 mil higher than the front. And ARB, like I said, 15. 20 here is pretty tricky, especially on cold tires. It will rotate the car better, but it will also over rotate the car a lot easier. You will be spinning easy with a 20. So I do suggest 15. 10 isn't going to get the car turned around here very well. However, if you're struggling and you're just learning the track, you may want it at 10, but you will definitely want to turn it up to 15 just to get the car rotating better. Compression 6 and 18 in the rear, sort of usual. Fuel 14 liters. You're going to need 14 liters. 13 will not do it. I am light on fuel usage usually, so 15 may be what you want to go with. And gear stack. This is a big change from the iRacing setup. It is standard. The iRacing setup has it at tall. I find standard going through this track, you're going into the corners and the gears you want to be in, whereas with a tall, it's a little trickier. If you are one of the faithful using a stick, you may want to use tall. A little less action in shifting gears. Standard does reach the rev limit in the second straight. It is going to probably be a little bit of a cost through that section in the draft. However, through the rest of the track, it is really good, and you don't reach the rev limit anywhere else. So stay tuned. I will put a comment in there once the races go if I do have to switch it to tall, if that draft is just too penalizing. But I think standard is going to get you around here pretty darn quick. Alright, we will go into the laps in slow-mo and then run it out at full speed as usual. Usage is 30%, track is 24 degrees. Alright, so coming into turn 1 here, so you can see I'm not at the rev limit. If I'm drafting, I probably would be reaching the rev limit. Looking for this white line and the white start of the curbs here, braking in between them, hard on the brakes, down into second gear. I don't like to be on the curb for this one. Again, you're braking very hard. Being on the curbs will open it up a little bit more, but I find it's kind of disruptive to the braking because you are going downhill. So second gear, and then at the end of the German colors here, turning in, releasing the brake. You got to be releasing the brake. If you're not releasing the brake, you're going to be spinning, because it is going downhill, and then it gets even more downhill. So as you come across the hill here, just starting to pick up a little bit of throttle just to keep that back end steady, getting onto the curbs here. All of these curbs have a lip to them. It is not the most punishing thing ever. However, if you're a little unlucky, your tire can snag that lip and disrupt your car a bit. So I do like to keep off of them for the most part. And then just picking up the throttle in second gear. Cold tires, you may want to do that corner in first gear for the first lap or two. It is a little tricky, that one, for sure. And then just a little bit of section here of full throttle. A lot of this track is throttle management. Downhill corners, uphill corners, just managing the throttle. So just a bit of a lift here, getting onto the curb. You can even just graze that black stuff, but again, it can disrupt the car, so just to the edge of the curb and just managing the throttle. And as you come to the downhill section here, shifting down into first gear. The engine is not going to like this. It is going to not like this at all. I've done a number of laps here of practice. I have not blown an engine, however, so let me know if you do. But I think you're safe to shift down into first. Cold tires as well, you may want to just give this a dab of brakes as you shift down into first. This is real downhill section. Coming in here too hot, you are going to slide wide, and if you slide wide, you are going to lose a lot of time. Once you're sort of past the apex here, just running it out, not quite mid-track, but sort of mid-track, turning the wheel and then picking up the throttle nice and early. Again, this is just throttle management. You're going to be lifting and coasting and braking through this section. It's very tight, very tricky. Getting onto the curb, up into second gear, and then as you come around the bend here, just gonna have a little bit of lift. If you keep it on full throttle, you're gonna slide wide, and you're really gonna slide wide and miss the apex and cost a lot of time. And then as you come around the corner here, just a full lift, and this helps rotate the car and get onto the black stuff this time. I think the rule is for the whole track, your inside tire can't cross the white line. If it crosses the white line, you get an X. So just watch out for that. And just a little lift as you go over that black stuff in that curb, because it is disruptive, as I said. Second gear, and again, just a blast of throttle here, and then again, just a little bit of a lift, getting onto the black stuff. So when there's no curb, you're on the black stuff, no problem. But when the curb is there, again, just watch out, that curb can grab your tire. And again, just a little bit of a lift, just so you're not sliding wide, and then picking up the throttle nice and early, letting the car unwind, getting way over to the right. And again, you can use all of the black stuff on this. Just watch out for this white line. You can pick up an X here, and this is good because the curbs run out here, and when you turn the car in, as long as you're not turning in before the curbs, which you don't want to do, it's not going to disrupt the car. Shifting up into third, and this one is a little tricky. You do not want to turn in here too early. If you turn in here too early, you are going to run wide, and that is going to be a problem. So turning in nice and gentle, you don't want to be scrubbing speed, and getting onto this curb, and it is important to get onto this curb. This curb is going to help rotate the car. Just a little bit of a lift, again, just to get the car rotated, so you're not coming in here wide, because this is off camber and downhill, and it is easy to run wide, understeer, run wide, get in, cross this white line, it's an X, get onto the gravel, that's even more trouble. So get onto the green stuff, you can use all of that, just keep the car in bounds. And then there's no real great marker here, it's a few car lengths before the white line. A good blast of brakes in fourth, and then releasing the brakes, and it's very important here, do not or have a bit of throttle on this. This corner is very easy to spin out, and what I forgot to mention is you do not want to be on the green stuff as you turn in here. Again, that lip will catch your tires a little bit and unsettle the car, and through this corner, unsettling the car is a very bad thing. So keep it right on to the edge of the curb, and then again, just a little bit of throttle just to keep that back end from stepping out, and then shifting down into third gear as you sort of hit the apex. You can leave it in fourth, however, the RPMs will be too low, and this is a big uphill climb, so shifting down into third is going to get you through there faster. Again, getting onto the curbs, you get onto the green stuff, not a big deal. However, again, you don't really want to be on the green stuff as you turn in. It's a chance you're going to disrupt the car, so that is not good. You do not want to be real tight up against the curbs here. You're aiming for the advertising signs. You want to run the car way out wide here. If you take that line, if you hit the apex, you're going to come out mid-track, and that's not where you want to be. You want to be over to the edge here. I could have even been a little bit more over to the edge. If you get onto the black stuff, not the end of the world, but you don't really want to extend the track that much as well. Having to cross over the curbs is not ideal either, but if you're on the curbs, that's probably where you want to be. In fourth gear, just a little baby lift just to make sure you're not scrubbing speed. Getting onto the black stuff for this one, again, you're exiting where there is no curb, so it's not going to disrupt the car, and just managing the throttle there. Again, you don't want to scrub too much speed as you come through and run too wide. You do want to be on the right hand side of the track. You don't have to get way over to the left for this corner. There is lots of track as you come through this corner. I'm not actually sure if this is considered a corner. Get on to the curb, and then again, just watch your wheel input. You can scrub some speed through here, so just try and keep it as straight as possible. You can use the green stuff here on exit, just don't cross that white line. Now this one, again, getting onto the curb, just at the white line, just past the white line here, getting onto the brakes, shifting down into third gear, and this is, I find, probably the trickiest corner on the track. Hard on the brakes, little bit of throttle just to keep that back end steady, because this is so easy to lose it through here, and it's very important you want to make sure you are slowed to the right speed. Be aggressive on the brakes, because you can pick up the throttle early and it won't cost you too much, but if you come in here too hot, you are in big trouble. So just a little bit of throttle just to keep that back end steady, getting onto the curb, and as you hit the apex here, putting a little bit more wheel input in there and picking up the throttle even more, and then you are going to slide a bit here and just unwind the wheel. Use all of the track on exit. You can get onto the green stuff there, just don't cross that white line. And then you want to get off the green stuff, get your tire onto the curb. And looking for this white line up here, you can brake later than you think. This is an uphill section. As you get into it, the car is just going to slow naturally, so braking just before that white line, down into second gear, and turning in later than you think. This is a late apex, and you do want to really get onto the curb here. Again, not onto the black stuff that can snatch your tire and give you a little bit of trouble, and picking up the throttle management through there again, just to make sure the back end doesn't step out, and unwind the wheel and use all of the curb. You can even get on the black stuff here if you came in a little hot, no big deal. And then it is a short run to the line. The line is basically just at the top of the hill here. There it is right there. So that's a 128 flat. I think that's going to be a pretty competitive time. The only question is whether that gear stack is going to be the right one. Alright, we'll run this out at full speed. Good luck out there. We'll see you on track.